Hi, hello everyone. I'm at Uplatz. This is MongoDB session part 16. To know more about us, please use this website address which I have given in my presentation. So today we are going to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. So this session would be really helpful for those who are preparing themselves for an interview or else to practice MongoDB, much familiarize or to make themselves comfortable in MongoDB. So this session will be really helpful. So at the end of the session, you may build confidence in yourself that each and every operator which we have discussed before, on each and every method which we have discussed before, how to use. So for which type of question, which type of operator we need to use. So everything I'm going to show in this session. So let's go to question 1. So my question 1 is, write a MongoDB query to display all the document in the collection restaurant. So they may have a collection. So the collection name may whatever you can give. So particularly I have used a collection restaurant. So I need all the documents which I have inside the particular collection. So for that, this is my answer. This should be my answer. So it is like db.restaurants.find. So this query will give you the entire documents inside to the particular collection. So this part which we have discussed in a CURD operation. So it is like querying method in CURD operation in MongoDB. So let's go to the next question. So write a MongoDB query to display the fields like restaurant ID, name, borrow, and cuisine for all the documents. So for every document inside the collection, we have multiple fields, but part in so based on some condition, but I need only to view the some particular fields. I don't want every fields to get written. So at that time, what we need to do, so here what they have asked, only restaurant ID, name, borrow, and cuisine. This 4 fields should I need to display. So remaining fields I should not display. So for that, what I have done, so db.restaurant.find. So this empty array I need to put, which means it will scan each and every document in our collection, and after that, for that 4 fields I have mentioned 1. So only the 4 fields from the document with the entire values will get displayed. So remaining thing will not get displayed. The next question is, write a MongoDB query to display the fields of restaurant ID, name, borrow, cuisine, but I need to exclude the field underscore ID. So I don't want that underscore ID field to get displayed in my document. So have already known that underscore ID field is nothing but our primary key in our document in a collection. So what they are asking us to do, they are asking us to exclude that particular field, but they are telling us to include restaurant ID, name, borrow, and cuisine. So this should be my query. So db.restaurants.find. So this is for empty array, empty object, which means it will scan the entire document. So for the 4 fields I have mentioned 1, 1, 1. I don't want this ID, so I mentioned that ID field value I have set to 0. So this will give you the 4 fields except the ID field. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query to display all the restaurant which is in borrow box. So I want the restaurant which is in that borrow. So I'm putting some like this is like filtering. So in the particular field, I'm filtering that particular value. So I want this value Bronx, what all the restaurants have, I need to display. So this is my query. I have used the filter. So this is my field and this is my value. So I will get the result of what all the restaurants have Bronx will get displayed. So next question is, write a MongoDB query to display the first 5 restaurant in the Bronx. So next is like I want the restaurant with the Bronx, but I want only the first 5 of them. So maybe sometimes I have hundreds of restaurants in the particular city in the name of Bronx, but I don't want everything to get displayed. I want only the first 5. So what I am doing, I am using the limit method. So with the help of that method, I can do that. So db.restaurants, which is nothing but our collection, dot find. So this is my field restaurant limit dot 5. So if I give 6 means only first 6 will get displayed, but in a question they have asked first 5, so I have given 5, so that thing will be displayed. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query to display the next 5 restaurants after skipping the first 5 which are in the Bronx. So what they are telling, they want the next 5 restaurants, but what they are asking us to skip the first 5. For example, if we have a 15 restaurant in the name of Bronze, means they are asking the second 5, which is like they are asking to skip the first 5 and they want the next 5. So what we need to do, we need to use the skip method. So db.collection.find borrow bronze dot skip 5, which means it will skip the first 5 and then it will take the next 5. For that we need to use the limit operator, so limit method. So this is all about the skipping first 5 and getting the next 5. So next is, write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant who achieved a score more than 90. So here what they am going to use element match operator. So because this is like an embedded thing in my document, grade, inside the grade my score and something got embedded, so I am using the element match and I'm getting the score which is greater than 90. So db.restaurant.find, so grade, and then element match operator I have used. So score is one of my field in the embedded grade document, and I'm using the GT operator, which is like greater than operator, which we have discussed in operator session. So it is like 90 they have mentioned in the question, so I have given 90. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant that achieved a score more than 80 but less than 100. So they are asking like 81 to 99. So the same thing, it is the embedded document. So I'm going to use the element match. So my score should be greater than 80. So I'm using GT operator, and it should be lesser than 100. So comma, I'm using LT operator. So the operators we can use MongoDB, we can use by comma separated. So that is not a problem. In a single object, we can mention a comma separated. So this we have already discussed how to use greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, everything in the operator session in detail. But the thing here is for the what type of questions and how to use that all these operators. So here we have used element match because this is the embedded document. Inside the embedded document values, I'm going to perform some mathematical expression. So I have used that. So write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant which locate in latitude value less than this particular. So what I have done, this is one of the another method without using element match, address dot code less than this latitude. So this is how I can return. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find restaurants that do not prepare any cuisine of American and then their grade score is more than 70 and latitude is less than this. So what they are asking us to uh, return the restaurant which does not prepare American cuisine and their score is more than 70 and their latitude is less than this. So what we need to do, so I need everything. So every condition should become applicable. So for that I have used the AND operator. So dba.collection.find and. So inside that I have three conditions. First is it should not prepare American cuisine. So not equal to I have used. Second thing is grade dot score should be greater than 70. And the third condition is address dot code should less than this value. So everything into the array of object and I have performed the AND operation for that particular object and I have returned my query. So this is how you need to um, write a query. In this case, I have three conditions and these three condition needs to get successful. So if anything fails means this query will not return because I have used AND operator. That is what they have asked in a question. So they need every three condition to get solved and then they need the result. So that is why I have used AND operator. The next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurants which is not prepared any cuisine of American and achieved a score 70 and more than 70 and located in the longitude less than. So the same question, but they have mentioned one condition like in the query they telling us to we should not use AND operator. So without this AND operator, how can we perform this three conditions in a single query? So like so this is also will work without AND operator. I'm performing in the previous query we have mentioned an array of object, but in a MongoDB it will execute object as a key value pair. So we can perform without AND operation as well as. So cuisine which is not equal to American and grade of my score is greater than 70 and the latitude is less than this amount. So we can also perform like this. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurants does not prepare American and achieve the grade point A and not belongs to this particular borough. Clean the document must display it according to the cuisine in descending order. So here they have mentioned four conditions like that cuisine should not be American and their grade point A that does not belong to that particular borough, Brooklyn, and the document according to that cuisine should displayed in the descending order at last. So what they have done, so first thing cuisine should not be American and for those grade A that borough should not equal to Brooklyn and this for my after getting my entire result from the output of these three conditions, it should sort based on the cuisine in the descending order. So this is how you need to write. For that I have used a sort operator. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant ID name and cuisine for those restaurant which contains WIL as a first three letter for its name. So what are all the names who has starts with first three letters? So I need the restaurant ID, name and borough for that particular thing. So what I can do? So I can use the regular expression here. So MongoDB supports a regular expression that we have already discussed. So that is what I have meant. So it should starts with WIL, and for that particular name I need a restaurant ID and name, borough and cuisine. So that's why I have mentioned a value. I have set a value for all the field to 1. So this is how you need to perform a regular expression inside your query. You can directly perform the regular expression like this. So the next is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurants ID, name, borough and cuisine for those restaurants which contain CES at last 3 letters for its name. So I want the name who ends with CES, and their field should be restaurant ID, name, borough and cuisine. So what I have done, name, CES, it should ends with that CES. So I have mentioned my regular expression. For starting we should need to use cap, and for find the ending name we should use a dollar. So this you have already known. If you are familiarized with the regular expression in any of the programming languages, so everyone will follow the same pattern. To find the starting letter we will use the cap, to find the ending letters we'll use the dollar. So that is what I have used here directly, and I have mentioned all the fields value to 1. So these fields will be displayed for those names whose ending with CES. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant ID, name, borough and cuisine for those restaurants which contain REG as 3 letters somewhere in the name. So next condition is like I want this REG anywhere in my name, either in starting, either in middle, either in last, or either anywhere. So for that my regular expression is dot star reg dot star. So this is also a regular expression pattern which we have normally used in any of the programming languages. That is what I have mentioned here. So if we use like this means it will search, it will scan the entire name. If it find reg as a consecutive, but it should be consecutive. You cannot, it will not search at R at first and E at the middle, G at the last. It will not search like that. So it will search for the 3 consecutive letter in the particular word. So it will take that, and for that particular name, ID, restaurant ID, name, borough and cuisine, everything I have set to once, this particular field get displayed for the particular name. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurants which belongs to the borough thing and prepare either American or Chinese dish. So what they are telling for that particular restaurant, uh, I need to find so either American or Chinese, what are they preparing? So for that I have used the OR operator. So what does mean? So if any one successful means if it is American means it will return American. If it is a Chinese means it will return Chinese. If we use the AND operator here, this query will become fails. Nothing will get written. So they have asked either one. So I have used OR operator. So for the borough bronze, I have used OR operator, and for the based on my particular cuisine. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find ID, name, borough and cuisine for those restaurants which belongs to the borough, Staten Island or Queens or Boroughs, Brooklyn. So here for borough, what they have taken, it should be like either in Staten Island, Queens, Bronx, or Brooklyn. So any one of them, it should belong to any one of them. So I have used the in operator. So if any one of them belong, means I need to return restaurant ID, name, and borough and cuisine for that particular thing. So my next question is Write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant ID, name, borough, and cuisine for those restaurant which does not belongs to that borough, Staten Island, or Queens, or Bronx, or Brooklyn, which means anything should not belongs to the particular thing. Some other, apart from this, I want some other. For that, I this particular field should get displayed. So I have used not in operator, which is like NIN, just equivalent to not in. So the next query is write a MongoDB query to find restaurant ID, name, borough for those restaurant which preferred a dish except Chinese and American, or the restaurant name should begins with WAL. So here anything like it should begins with WAL, so I have performed or, so regular expression for the name, and for my cuisine it should like neither American or Chinese, except this everything I need. So for that particular, this particular fields to get displayed, so I have set one, so either this or this. So if it starts with WAL and any either one of it is there, that should be fine. But this both for this particular thing array of object, this but both should get true. So after that it will check for the name. So if that WAL starts name is not there also, that should be fine. It will display the result because we are using the or operator. So the same thing was also asked in our question. So the next is write a MongoDB query, display name and grades for those restaurant achieve a grade A and scored 11 on a date among many of the survey dates. So the grades dot date, this is my particular date which I have mentioned given in my question for grades A and score 11. So for this I want the particular fields to get displayed. So it will exactly match with our document and display the particular three fields. So next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant ID, name, and grades for those restaurants where the second element of those grade array contains a grade of A and score 9 on ISO date. Second element of a grade array contains a grade A and score 9 on ISO date. So let's see. So here what they have done, second element. So they have mentioned. So the first element in the array is 0. So second element is grade dot 1 dot date. So grades dot 1 dot grade, grades dot 1 dot score. So this is my second element in the array. So for that, this particular field should come. So because this is a date, grade, score, everything is like embedded in an array in our document. So that is why they have asked the second field element in an array. My particular field should, I want to get particular field based on that value in the second element array. So grades dot 1 dot date 1 dot grade 1 dot score. So this which refers to the second element. So if you want the third element, you need to put 2 2 2. So if you want the first element in array, grades dot 0 dot date. So likewise, if you want eighth element in the array, means grades dot 8 dot date. Eighth element means you want to put grades dot 7 dot date, grades dot 7 dot grade, grades dot 7 dot score. So likewise you need to display the fields based on the values. So the next question is write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant ID, name, address, and geographical location for those restaurants where second array element of array contains a value which is more than 42 up to 52, more than 42 and up to 52, which is like it should be a second element. So they have mentioned index as 1. So for that particular values, I need this particular field. So I have set dot field to 1. So up to 52, which is means less than or equal to 52 but greater than 42, which is like 43 to 52. I need all the values. So based on that values, I need only this particular fields to get displayed for those values. So my next question is, write a MongoDB query to arrange the name of the restaurants in the ascending order along with all the columns. So I want all the columns, but I want to arrange the name in the ascending order. So I have mentioned db.restaurant.find sort name as 1. So it will sort in ascending order with all the columns. The same question to sort in descending order with all the fields. So which is like -1. Next question is, write a MongoDB query to arrange the name of the cuisine in ascending order, and for that same cuisine borrow should be in descending order. So that cuisine should be in ascending order, but that borrow should be in descending order. So which I have with the help of the sort method, we can able to do this. So positive one means ascending, negative value means descending. So we can do this easily. Write a MongoDB query to know whether all the address contains a street or not. So like this previous question, it is difficult, it is like very easy after giving the answer, but once without this answer, by seeing this question, you may get confused, or you may not able to give this type of answer. So this type of answer you can give only you keep on practicing the operators and methods in MongoDB. Once you keep on practice, it is like very user friendly and it's very lightweight comparing to other database for answering an interview. It is very interesting. So please keep on practicing. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query to know whether all the address contains the street or not. So for this, you need to use whether exist operator. So this like true or false, whether it is there or not, it will return in Boolean. So I have mentioned true. So address dot street, find db dot address dot street whether it exists true. So it will give. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query which select all the documents in the restaurant collection where the quad field value is double. So for that, we need to use the type of operator to check the value is double or not. So that is what we have mentioned here. So the next, this type of operator is same. So in JavaScript also, we will be using this in the printf statement, like type of double quotes letter means it will give a string, it will give integer. So same in MongoDB. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query which select the restaurant ID name grades for those restaurants, which returns 0 as the reminder after dividing by 7. So after dividing by 7, it should give 0. I need everything for that. So I have this is like module operation. So mod operator is directly available in MongoDB, so that we can use that mod operator. So this is my quotient, and first field should be my quotient and second field should be my reminder. So this is all we have discussed in operator session in MongoDB. So if you have any doubts, please refer that session which I have already taken. So grades dot score, so this is the embedded thing. So mod operator, the 7 is my quotient and 0 is my reminder. I want to display all the fields based on that. So the next question is, write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant name, borrow longitude, altitude, and cuisine for those restaurant which contains mon as 3 letters somewhere in the name. So somewhere in the name, which is like I'm using the regex operation. So option operator I have used for case insensitivity. So either capital or small, it will ignore everything if you use this. This is also an operator. This is also we have discussed with the example in our operator session. Please refer that. So for that particular question, so this is my answer. So mon anywhere in my name, I need to display all the fields. So the next question is like write a MongoDB query to find the restaurant name, borough, latitude, longitude, and cuisine for those restaurants which contain MAD as first three letter. So it starts with A, and case sensitivity also I am checking. So I have mentioned I. So I need to return all the fields for that particular name. So the next question is what is meant by namespace in MongoDB? So this is one of the more frequent questions they have asking. So what it will store BASIN, which is nothing but the binary interchange and structure object notation. So it is a serial representation of a JSON. So what it will do, it will concatenate the collection name and data space name. Concatenation of the collection name and data space name, which is like if our collection name is restaurant and my database is test, so restaurant dot test, so that is my namespace. So how can you see the connection used by Mongo? So if you want to see the connection, so db underscore admin command, so you can able to see the connection in Mongo. So what is replica set? It is like a group of Mongo instance host a data set. It should have one primary and another one is secondary. So from primary to secondary, all the data will replicate, which means that whatever in primary, it will get copied in a secondary. So what are the points we need to keep in mind while designing a schema in MongoDB? So what we need to do? So design your schema, whatever according to our user requirements. We need to combine objects into one document if you use them together. Otherwise, we can separate them. So do joins while write and not when it is on read. So use case optimize your schema to complex aggregation in schema. So the next question is, what is the syntax to create a collection and to drop the collection? So to create a collection is db.create collection and this name. So this is option. To drop a collection is db.collection.drop. So explain what is the role of a profiler. So this profiler part is really important for administrator. So if you are going to join as administrator in MongoDB means in interview you can expect this question. So what they will do, they will show the performance and characters of each operation against the database, and using the profiler that are slower than they should be in a finder queries. So explain how can you move old files into the move chunk directly. So yeah, it is possible by doing normal shared balancing operation. These files are made as backup and they can be deleted once operation is done. To do a safe backup, what is the feature in MongoDB that you can use? So it is nothing but journaling. It is like on disk write journal. It is a safe backup. So mention what is object CLID composed of. So it is like timestamp. It will hold the client machine ID and client process ID and 3-byte incremented counter. So this all together 4 thing it will composed of. So mention what is command syntax for inserting database name, which is like database db dot collection dot insert. Here we need to mention our document fields. So mention how you can inspect the source of code in a function. So it is like without any parentheses, the function must be invoked. So the next question is, what is the command syntax that tells you whether you are a master server or not? So, and then how many master does MongoDB allow? So there is a syntax which we have already discussed, db.isMaster. So it will tell you there is a master or not, and what is the primary and what is the secondary, and at a time it will only allow only one master, and CouchDB will allow the multiple masters, but MongoDB will do allow only one masters. So which is like at a time only one server can act as a primary. So mention the command syntax that you use to view the Mongo is using the link. So that is like db._admin command. So next is explain what are the index in MongoDB. So it is a special structures which stores a small portion of a data set, and they can easily traverse. So the value of the field specified in the index is to store the set of the values of the fields. So what is the basic syntax? So db.collection name dot ensure index. So this is like in the latest version they have changed as ensure index, but in the previous version, so the name is like create index. Either key is the name of the column which is present in the document. So what is gridfs? So basically in storage topic in our session in MongoDB we have discussed about gridfs. So for storing and retrieving large number of files such as image, video, so we can use so two files like basically fs.files, fs.chunks, which is one is used to store the metadata, another one is used to store the chunks. What are the alternatives like Cassandra, Couch, HBase are the good alternatives for MongoDB. So next is why we are using the MongoDB. So this like document oriented based, high performance, high availability, we can scale easy scalability. It's a rich query language. So next is how does journaling is working in MongoDB. So it's the write operations are always saved in the memory while this journaling is going on. So when these on-disk files are really dependable for the reason, so inside that we are using the DB paths which is designed by MongoDB. So the next is how can you isolate the cursor from inventorying the write operation? Just the help of the snapshot method, we can do that. It can negotiate the index and make sure each query comes to any article only once. So what is storage inscription? So it will encrypt all the MongoDB data on operating system to ensure only authorized process can access that protected data. So they have some encryption. So like a client cannot come and they can do whatever I want. So they should have proper authorization. So replica set oblag means it will record all the operation that modify. So vertical scaling is add more CPU and storage to increase capacity, but whereas horizontal is that based on our data set, it will distribute the data over multiple servers. So what is the command? We use create database name, just like database name. So to drop database, db.drop database. So pretty method, what is that? It will show the result in a formatted way, just like human readable manner. How we can remove document? So the remove method which is used. So what is projection? Used to select only necessary data. So how can we create a backup? Just nothing but Mongo dump. This is one of the command which we can use to create a backup in MongoDB. So what is the command to restore the backup? Just like Mongo restore command is used to restore the backup. So this two commands is very important for again for administrator. This question is most expected. So what is the use of dot notation? To access the element either in an array or a field in an embedded document. So this is all about FAQ. So if you have any queries, please write to info@uplatz.com. Thank you.